Yo, what is going on, everybody? Episode 118 of many. It is Sunday morning. It is 6:50 a.m. I just got a 2-mile walk-in, or just over 2 miles. I am now in the sauna. I think I'm finally going to hit a cold shower again. It's been a while. If you listened to the episodes a while ago, you would know that I used to have a dynamite routine, or at least I was trying to. But it takes a lot of time putting 2, 3, 4 hours of your day into yourself is not always easy. So, when I'm sauna, when I'm making sure I get my steps in, when I'm doing my cold shower, meal prepping, right? Like, it adds up to be a lot, and it's truly a lifestyle. So when you see other people, or when you listen to other people, or when you see those people online and they're doing all this crazy stuff, like these social media gurus or these influencers, that's like what they're spending their time on is that entire lifestyle. So I understand as a busy as most of us are, we've got things going on. It's not always easy to dedicate time to ourselves, let alone any time, but a lot of time to do all of these things perfect. So when you listen to me and the little things I'm trying to do, we all take showers every day. Can you incorporate some cold showers? Are there some benefits from it? I do believe so. I do think if you could, a couple times a week hit a cold shower, it does some magic things for your metabolism and for waking you up, and your like your brown fat or something like that. Like it helps with body fat and all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested in those shock proteins, I believe that's what it's called. Try the cold shower. It's not easy. I almost think cold plunging is easier than a cold shower, only because you can get in the water and hold yourself there. But like when you're in the shower, it's not even as cold as a cold plunge, but you have to like stay under the water. You have to stay under where the water's hitting you, right? You have to stay under the shower head. So I don't know. I think the cold plunge is almost easier because you get in, you can sit there, versus forcing yourself to stay under the shower head. And anyway, so I'm excited. It's Sunday morning, starting the day off right. I'm going to get a nice breakfast here at some point. I think today's docket for me, I'm going to get some stuff set up for the restaurant. I'm probably going to get some videos, or a video recorded for the restaurant as well, and get some Facebook videos out there for the restaurant, because I haven't done any really this week. Got to give some updates to the people, and that's how we've been staying in touch with everybody. So the reason you're hearing from me today, obviously you're hearing this on Tuesday still, but why am I recording Sunday? Well, I've got the peace and quiet to myself this morning with the sauna, and my brain's not elsewhere. But tomorrow, exciting stuff. Monday, the warehouse is official. We bought that on Friday. I'm going to touch base a little bit about that. But tomorrow, or Monday, yesterday for you guys, I will be spending a lot of my time kind of in and out of the office, because I'm going to be heading over to the warehouse, helping them organize the new warehouse, because we're just going to be sending semi after semi after semi of gym equipment to the new warehouse. We're planning on, I think Kyle's goal is 8 semis tomorrow of just used gym equipment. So pack it as full as we can and get it moved over there. The nice thing about when we're going to be moving warehouses, is it's going to be like a cleanse again. We're going to find a lot of stuff that we just got to scrap. We got to throw away. It's not worth. Maybe we've taken 5 parts out of the machine already, and it's just not worth repair. And it's just time to move on. Now, I have a hard time with scrapping gym equipment. I just have a soft spot for it. I would love for every piece of equipment to go to a home. But there are some things that are too rusty, too taken apart, too beaten up. Just we've had them for years and they don't sell. And it's just unfortunately how it goes. So when we do get rid of it, it does get scrapped. It does go to the metal yard, and, we do what we can that way. So, anyways, that's why you're hearing from me today. Tomorrow, probably Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, is going to be primarily moving equipment. We have till the end of April to get out of our space in Red Granite, but I know our goal is to move like almost everything over right away. The one thing is we have some new product in our warehouse for installs, and I'd really prefer not to spend money on moving new product that we only get paid a fixed rate to do, but it's cost of doing business, so if we got to move it, we got to move it. But also, when moving new product, the more times you touch it and move it, the odds are, a scratch here, or, a dent there, or, whatever, right? Like, we don't want to have to ship it and fully blanket everything just to drive it over to Berlin and unload it. So hopefully we can keep some new stuff in Red Granite through the end of the month, and hopefully get it installed by the end of the month as well, so that way it just moves that one time. So Anyways, I want to talk about Friday. We closed on the warehouse at about 9 a.m. I got up to Oshkosh, signed the paperwork. It took about an hour because they didn't have all the forms printed off when I first got there, and I was hoping for a quick in and out. I don't really like spending time signing paperwork, but they printed the papers when they finally did, and then they weren't printed on the right size paper, so then we had to like reprint them, and the signature spots weren't on there. Anyways, just a bunch of weird stuff. But I went there, signed with the bank that I work with. He met me there. We signed a bunch of bank paperwork. Basically, and I'll give you guys some insight here. We have several loans out for the properties that we've purchased in the past, handful of years. And long story, I'm just giving you guys a little bit of insight here. Is like what we had to do on this one is this was our biggest loan that we've done on a property. We purchased this warehouse for it was $700,000 was the agreed upon price. They were originally asking, I want to say $825 or $850, and so we got them down to that $700 mark. We were really hoping to get it down to like $600 or $650, but when we tried getting it down that low, the owners got offended and said basically don't communicate with us. We don't want to deal with you. Like this is you're just fucking around, right? Was kind of the attitude. So a week or two goes by, 3 weeks, I can't remember it, and then we're thinking, and we're like, you know what? Like, I texted the listing agent again. I said, can you just try to get this to us for $700,000? He goes, well, the guy already said he won't do less than $750, so I don't know it's worth it. I said, well, we can't offend him anymore, right? Like, what's he gonna do? So we put an offer together, sent it over for $700,000, and sure enough, they accepted, and the rest is history, right? So, anyways, we're at the signing on Friday, and I'm with the banker, and we had a handful of loans between our Watoma property that we purchased, the Princeton gym, the Berlin property, right? Like, and so what we had to do on this one is we actually had to get all of our loans consolidated into one. So it's just like, it's a clean cut, it's one monthly payment, it's not complicated. And I know sometimes banks want to do this because sometimes you have better interest rates out there. But in this case, we had some loans that had really good interest rates, but they were actually coming due. The way it works again is they were 5-year term. It was like a 25-year loan, but every 5 years we have to review the loan, and it kind of comes due on the interest rate essentially. So a couple of our loans from like 2020 were like really good loans, right? Like a couple percent, 2, 3, 4%. I want to say like three something percent was our interest rate. So our monthly payments were extremely low. They were primarily principal payments, right? And they were going to come due in September anyways or something like that, or August, where the interest rate was going to match whatever was going on now. So we ended up getting all of our loans together. We actually, instead of doing a 25-year loan, we brought it back down to 20 years, so a little bit more aggressive, but that kind of was in our best interest since we've already paid some payments on our other loans, for the past 5 years. So we made sure that the bank wasn't getting the best deal on like, okay, Colton, we need to get all your loans together and you're going to lose all of those interest payments you've paid, essentially. I don't know a great way to explain this over the mic, but, when you refinance your home and all that kind of stuff, you usually lose out on, if I've had a loan for 3, 4, 5 years, depending on the way they structure it, you pay the most interest up front when you have a loan, right? Like, your principal payments really start coming at the end of the loan, and the interest payments are primarily at the front. It's always interest loaded, principal at the end. So if you have a loan for, say, 20 years and you've already paid in for 5 years, you've actually been paying the majority of the interest, and now the back end is starting to become more principal. So now when you refinance, usually it kind of is like a reset. You'll now set your loan over again, and you'll be paying more interest, and you're setting that principal payment further off. So it's actually a disadvantage. So you have to be careful when you do that. Of course, the bank wants to refi you because they're going to make more interest and they're going to own the home longer or whatever the property is that you're getting a loan for. So that goes for any kind of loan. So just keep that in mind that the majority of the interest is always paid up front, not on the back end. So anyways, we structured it in a sense where I got the benefit of the years I've already paid in. We went from 25 years down to 20. We bundled all the payments together. I actually had a couple loans I just got in the last year or 18 months or so that were actually a higher interest rate, like 7.5%, 7.25 or 7.5, and now the rate is down, I can't remember, 6.25 or 6.5. So actually, to my benefit, those came down, and again, I got that benefit of paying the interest for that year on those loans. My other ones were going to come due anyways, so It all worked out, and it's about as good as we could get it. And now we've got just one monthly payment. Instead of like 6 random loans or whatever it was, we have one big lump sum payment every month. It's super simple. It's like a portfolio now. It's just all together. Now, what that also means is that every property is kind of lumped together in this loan. So I had questions. I was learning. I was like, okay, so now that we own, or, we have a loan on a couple of these properties, what happens if, like, again, you always think worst case scenario. If I needed to sell a property to keep my head above water, if we wanted to sell a property just because we wanted to get out of this property, like, how would that work? And the way it works is there's a loan to equity ratio, essentially, and they want to keep that under about 80%. And so what that means, for simple math, is if I have about $100,000 of equity in my properties, let's say $100,000 of equity, they only want to loan up to 80% of that. So you can only really touch about 80% of what your equity is. They're not going to go over that. So if I have $100,000 in equity, they're going to be able to loan me up to 80%. What happens is like if you look at all of the properties, let's just say that the value is $1 million, and let's say we have $800,000 of equity, they don't want to loan over that. So if I were to sell a property, and let's say I'm selling a property for like, $500,000 or something, or whatever, like they have to basically keep that ratio the same. So if it's 80%, they don't want to let me sell a property and get that ratio out of proportion. But they're not going to say, oh, this property is worth $500,000. We want $500,000. They might say, looking at your loan to equity ratio, you're at about 75% right now. And so if we were to let this property out of this agreement, like they call it a release price, they might say, hey, we need to release this property to you for $250,000. So anything you sell your property for over that, that's fine. You keep it, but you'll need to pay down $250,000 basically to release, like the title of the property, right? If you have a lien on your car for $10,000, you have to go to the bank and pay $10,000 to get the title to then sell it to the person, right? So you want to sell that car for more than $10,000, or you have to sell it for less, but you have to put your own cash in to get that title, right? So it's like the same thing here on the properties. So again, something I learned, something I thought was interesting. I'm like, well, how do I get a property back? Or how do I, if I said, hey, I want to get this property paid off free and clear, and I don't want it involved in this big conglomerate. I want it to be my own property, and I don't want any payments on this one. What can we do? Same thing. They're going to say, well, here's your release price. We need you to pay $150,000 for it, and whatever the property's worth above that is your money. So sell your property for 3 or 4, or come up with 150 grand and just pay this property off, and now it's been released from the collateral pool of this, right? So if anybody has any questions on this, feel free to send me a message. But again, I ask questions because I want to learn, I want to understand, and you don't want to sign things without kind of having some sort of understanding on what could happen, what's the worst case scenario. So that is that. So Friday, I'm there to sign, and we had 1 million pieces of paperwork to sign for the bank before we even got to sign the title paperwork. The title paperwork was like 5 sheets, right? It was like, here's the price, here's the statement, here's the, this, here's that, and that was about it. And then they duplicate it, they take a copy of my ID, and that is over with. But the bank, again, it was like, probably like 25 pieces of paper that we had to go through and review and sign, and to get all the loans together and to get all the agreements done with the bank, and that's just how it rolled. So when we first made the offer on this property, I was excited but nervous, right? You kind of have that like, shoot, what are we getting ourselves into? Is this smart? Is it not smart? You start questioning the business. Is the business going to continue growing? Is it going to, you start wondering, like, is this the right decision, right? It's kind of like buyer's remorse. You go buy something, you're like, did I really need to buy that, right? So we committed to this property, and then all the worst case scenarios start playing out in my head. Well, this, well, that, well, if this and then about a week ago, I was like, I am so damn excited for this new warehouse. Like, it just set in. I was like, at the end of this week, this property is going to be Priority Fitness. It's going to be the place for Priority Fitness. It's finally going to have a home. This business is going to run so much more efficiently and so much more effectively. Nolan and Kyle that run the business, they're going to be able to be there. They're going to have internet. We didn't even have internet at our other warehouse. They're going to have internet. They're going to have a printer. And I don't want to sound entitled, oh, we didn't even have internet. I'm saying we couldn't even work in the office at the warehouse. And so anytime they had to work in the office, they had to come to Atoma, they had to work there, or they had to work from home, then they had to come back to the warehouse, right? And anytime a trucker would come and they would need paperwork, we had to go to the other business in the building we were renting and ask, hey, could you print this off? Assuming they were there. If they weren't there, Kyle would run home, print this off quick, and come back, right? So having Nolan and Kyle on site, now when we're fixing gym equipment or we're unloading this or unloading that, they need to go to the office real quick. They just walk over to the office and they print off their paperwork or they order the part they need. Like, our efficiency is just going to be through the roof. So one, super excited for that. Two, I'm spending a lot of my time right now in Berlin. I work out at the gym there typically. I go to the bar and restaurant there, and I work from the office there. And now I'm going to be able to go to the warehouse. I like to sell gym equipment, and that's what I do still on the side. So one, I can go help there, and I can do my own sales. I can take more pictures. I can help unload a truck real quick if I need to, right? Like, I can be available, and it's all right there. I can walk from the gym into the warehouse now. I can check on the guys in the morning. I can do a quick walkthrough. I can give some feedback. It's going to be much more convenient and easy to have everything located. So that's number two. Number three, almost all of my PF guys have been my workout partners sometime in the past. Kyle and I used to work out together all the time. Nolan and I were workout partners throughout high school and after high school. Colin, he works with us. He was working out with me like for several years as well. So now they're going to be working in the backyard of the gym. So I'm really hoping that we can encourage them, hey, just come, to the gym at 6:30, 6:45. You'll be done. You'll be healthy. You can go right to the gym. And anyways, it's going to be super cool. Also, Priority Fitness does so much for all of our businesses. And a lot of the businesses, like, don't get me wrong, we do charge, like Grizzly Fitness when Priority does something. It's just a deep discount. So, for example, Princeton recently got some new equipment and we moved some stuff around. Priority comes in and we kind of agree, hey, we're just going to charge this much. We would have charged this, but we're just going to charge this much. And that's what Grizzly gets billed, and then Grizzly eventually will pay it off. And then like the other day at Grizzly's, the bar and restaurant, there was a bunch of stuff out on the patio, alongside the patio. Like, we were putting a bunch of stuff out there because we've been renovating and cleaning up everything inside the bar and restaurant. So anything that didn't need to be there was, in our eyes, junk, would go out on the patio while the weather wasn't great. But there's also just a lot of stuff left there that was an eyesore, like old stoves, old steam tables, old grills, like things that just hadn't been used in years and should have been thrown away a long time ago. But I understand how it is. Like, you have something, you have a dream for it at some point, and then you just acquire these things and you never get around to doing them. So they were outside. There was some other stuff out there. And so the PF guys on Friday, before or right after we closed, the PF guys came over. They had the big trailer. And the first thing that got to the new warehouse was all of our shit from the bar and restaurant. And of course, they got a brand new warehouse, and now they've got to see like bar stools and stoves and grills at their fucking warehouse. And they're like, oh, great. But Priority Fitness does do a lot for all of our businesses. So we are actually going to be doing an employee discount for our PF guys to come over to the bar and restaurant to eat, because they'll obviously be in town all the time working. One, if our business can, if we can keep all of our money within our businesses, it just benefits our businesses, and we can continue to grow and we can continue to invest. So we're going to do a little discount for the guys. They can come and get lunch, basically every day of the week by us if they want, or whatever, breakfast, dinner, I don't care. But they can go wherever. I'm not forcing them to, but I want them to know that we do care about them, and if they want to come and get a nice bite to eat, they're more than welcome to. So anyways, super excited about that as well. So there's just a lot of awesome things that are going to be coming from being local, where I think we're going to be better located. It'll be super easy just to, run up to Oshkosh if we need any parts or whatever. Like, it's just going to make things way more convenient. As far as like drive time for our guys, I don't think it changes a whole lot. We have one guy who lives not too far down the street in Red Granite, so he'll have to drive over there, but that's, again, a 15-minute drive. We had one guy in Neshgoro, so again, he might have an extra 5-minute drive. Nolan was over in Amro area. He's actually moving to Oshkosh, so his drive will actually be shorter coming to us. Kyle, same thing. He'll have an extra, 5-10-minute drive, but now he's got a reason to come to Berlin, come to the gym, and hopefully, like I said, we can get these guys working out and kind of refocus there, which is something that excites me. I love seeing people get after it, get better, and make the progress they need. So, anyways, Priority Fitness. I know I'm just saying a lot here, but I'm really excited for this. I mean, Priority Fitness has been the company that has allowed us to do everything to this point. Grizzly Fitness is finally kind of getting to the point where Grizzly can stand on its own and do its own thing and doesn't have to lean on Priority. But Grizzly always was dependent on Priority. anytime Grizzly couldn't pay a bill or make a payment or buy this or buy that or fix this or fix that, Priority would foot the bill, and we would write it off on Priority's end. Priority would fix the gym equipment, they'd bring in new gym equipment, and Grizzly would get it for free or whatever, right? So without Priority, Grizzly never would have been able to grow at all, essentially, because Priority was our in to everything. Discount on parts, gym equipment, and like I said, almost all of the gym stuff that we've ever done, the gym installs, the gym servicing, almost all of that revenue would go back into the gyms. It would buy gym equipment, it'd buy rare gym equipment, it would pay for everything. So it's just kind of a full circle moment that Priority Fitness finally has its home, and Priority Fitness, like, it's just super cool. It's just so Friday was a special day. We all ended up going to the warehouse. We grabbed some beers. We just kind of walked around the place and just started brainstorming. I bought the guys some food before we left, and then we were at Izzy's or Grizzy's. We were there. We were eating some pizza, or the guys were. We then grabbed some beers. We went over to the warehouse, just kind of brainstorming, enjoying it. We actually pulled up our little company car, opened the doors, and we were playing music that way. So we had our stereo set up, or our Bluetooth music was going. And again, we just kind of let the guys get in there and gave them the afternoon off, and just kind of said, like, look what's going on. And then we ended up going back to Grizzy's. Everybody got a little bit more like different bites to eat, and I just kind of opened a big tab, and we just enjoyed the day. And so again, it was a very amazing, I don't know, it's just not like emotional, but it was just like, wow, this is really cool. It's a big ass warehouse. The guys were like amazed, they were impressed, they were excited, they were looking forward to it, and again, being able to like have their input on like something fresh and new. When we first started our Red Granite warehouse, it was like Kyle, Nolan, and I, a couple other guys at the time, but our other guys that are with us now were not there when we first moved in. So now, like, their input matters, and they've all been with us for a good amount of time. So now when we move over to this new place, they're going to be able to give insight. They're going to be able to say, what if we did it like this and did it like that? And again, I'm just super excited to see the team come together and grow and do all of that. So enough on Priority. I just, I'm thankful. I'm grateful. It's just, it's been an amazing experience these past, 9-10 years that we've been kind of doing stuff and just kind of learning as we go and figuring it out. So that's all I've got for that. I've got some other like just little side things. I mean, I don't have a whole lot more to say, but Saturday, we did a golf outing. So Kyle, Gavino, Garrett, myself, we always try to do like a couple golf outings a year and just have a good time. So yesterday, I got a little morning workout with Nolan. We then went out for breakfast, and then we ended up going to Two Oaks for a big cup golf outing. Those of you that are familiar with golf or unfamiliar with golf, a big cup is just a bigger than normal sized hole. So it's not quite like a 5-gallon bucket, but it's more like an ice cream pail size, like 8-inch hole or something like that. So it's just a fun event, and we actually golfed really well, and that's unlike us. And it was like our, we've only golfed like 2 times this year, so it's pretty fresh. And yeah, we golfed really well. We had some drinks, we had a good time, and we ended up making the shootout because Rusty ended up bringing on it was usually just the top 7 teams for the shootout, but he did the top 16 teams because there was a massive tie. We shot 14 under along with like 7 or 8 or 9 other teams, so he just said everybody's going. Plus, that for Rusty, that keeps people there at the course longer, which means he makes more money, so it's a good business move anyways. But we went out. We've never done this before, and a scramble's easy, but once you get to the shootout, it's alternate shots. So that means one guy tees off, the next guy gets the next shot, and Kyle golfs a good amount, but me, Gavino, Garrett, and I, we're not like competitive golfers, so now the pressure's on, and we ended up losing on the first hole. Like whoever had the worst score on the first hole is eliminated. The next hole, whoever has the worst score gets eliminated again, and then by hole 3, the top seed and the guy who won the first 2 holes. And anyway, so it was fun. It was a good time, and the reason I'm saying this is it's important to take some time off. I still started at the bar and restaurant Saturday morning. I still did some things. I helped organize some stuff, and it was just good to kind of like relax and get away and have that fresh mind. And I know I was just in Florida not too long ago, but I'm just here to remind you, it is important still to do things for yourself. It is important to enjoy your time. It is important to be able to step away and just have a good time, enjoy your life, you know what I mean? So I always encourage you, be 1% better, be the best you, do what you can to live the best life that you can, and find hobbies, find things that you enjoy, find the little things in life that really get you going, and make time for those. I don't want to hear you say, well, I used to do it all the time, and then I, this and that and this other thing, and now I just don't, have the time. You don't make the time, you know what I mean? I understand life gets busy, you start a family, you do this, you get a new job, but like, if you're not doing the things you love, I mean, I need you to do the things you love. You're going to enjoy life, you're going to enjoy your time, you're going to look forward to that. And, maybe you're not doing the things that you used to love because you're doing new things that you love. I get that too. But if you like golfing, if you like, going for a run, going for whatever, just make sure you carve out some time for you. It's important for your mental health, and it's important for your physical health. And you only got one shot at this life, so figure it out and enjoy it. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So I appreciate you so much. Have a wonderful Tuesday. I hope your week started off great. I will see you guys on Thursday, and then I actually take off for Arizona Friday through Tuesday of next week. My grandpa is now 85 or 86, 85, I think, and he lives down south of Tucson, so we're actually going to fly out there for just a quick trip, hang out with him. He still parties like he's 25, so we'll end up having some beers Friday and Saturday or whatever with him. We'll enjoy the sun. We'll bring our cowboy boots and our cowboy hat out there, and we'll just live it up. We'll enjoy life for a couple of days. So we try to get out there like once a year if we can. He obviously ends up coming up here for like a month during hunting season. He comes up during bow and stays for like about a month. So yeah, you can't take time for granted. We're excited to go see him, and that's just what we got to do. So anyways, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. If this is your first time listening, or you're newer to the channel, newer to the pod, go back and listen to episodes 1 through 4. That's going to give you guys some good insight on really like the complete story here, tell you how Priority Fitness started, how the gym started, and all of that. If you guys want to add me on Snapchat, it's colton.burt. If you want to add me on Instagram, Colton Cravenburt. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. I will talk to you soon.